It's almost a year since the UK government and European Union concluded a very long negotiation on the deal with which Britain then left the European single market. Brexit's advocates say there will be long-term economic benefits, but it's been a tough year for some of the Scottish businesses most affected, as our business and economy editor Douglas Fraser has been finding out.
It should be party season, but at this Perthshire hotel, group bookings are below quarter their usual level. COVID brings caution, but there's also a lack of capacity because of the shortage of staff. A year since the midwinter deal in which the UK left Europe's single market, this German-born manager is one of few European citizens who's stayed on.
Yes, we have now, more Scottish people, but there's a lot of competition, and as soon as somebody has a better job, better money, a different environment, something else that they fancy, they jump ship very quickly.
Across 11 hotels in this chain, more than 1 in 6 roles is vacant. It's raising pay, recruiting from India at around £6,000 per visa when it's allowed one, and it's turning to local teenagers. But companies are unable to sustain earnings, let alone grow, without skilled workers.
None of us thought it would be this bad. We have 20 food outlets in the company, and of these 20 food outlets, half are either closed or severely restricted. So I think that's costing the company 20% of its revenue. We're also capping occupancy at 70, 85% at weekends, 70% cap, and that's to allow our housekeeping staff to clean the rooms.
Supplies of wine are badly disrupted, but happily, locally sourced food is still on the menu.
It remains the case in Scotland that you can get the very best of farm produce and shellfish. But to try to sell this into the European Union market has become much more expensive and bureaucratic and difficult. It's also slower, and there's a huge demand for it still there.
This specialist Lanarkshire butcher used to export prize cuts to discerning continental customers, but that completely stopped last New Year. It's putting effort now into retail in Edinburgh. More jobs created here, but export earnings gone.
It was really easy. Pre-Brexit, I would just get WhatsApp messages from my customers. I would select the meat, book the transport, jobs are good and out it goes. But sadly, since Brexit and the third country approval, it's just not taken into account the small guys.
Larger food exporters are learning to get truckloads to European customers despite delays, licensing costs, health certificates. It's tougher for smaller exporters such as Angel Bond, a Glasgow shellfish wholesaler, one place where Brexit has led to job creation to handle the extra paperwork.
We do 6 million turnover and will cost more or less £100,000 this year, plus one person to do the job, so cost more or less 140,000.
For most economists, the Brexit project gets low marks.
There's no doubt that Brexit has held back the UK economy. Trade has fallen back. Most of us thought that if there was to be an exit from the single market and the customs union, there would be a bit of a barren period. And then possibly in a few years' time, both sides would begin to look at whether the trade and cooperation agreement is deep enough or whether it needs some deepening in areas where it is hampering trade. And there's no doubt that it is hampering trade.
The economic benefits of Brexit are a lot harder to spot than the costs so far. Any trade deals beyond Europe will take time. They may bring gains, but also costs and more disruption. Douglas Fraser, reporting Scotland.